Here's what I want to say about voting. I see everybody on social media posting, talking about, oh, vote Democrat. Doesn't matter who it is, as long as it's not Donald Trump. Now, think about this. When we were children, we didn't learn about the checks and balance system, right? Or we may have a class that talked about, the checks and balance, the legislative, the judicial system. It talked about it a little bit, but not in depth, right? Because they don't even want us to even understand how this whole voting works, right? Although, our ancestors died and, was murdered, for us to be able to vote, and died for freedom and all that. And even that we don't even understand, right? But people cast votes with no substance, right? So I'm not voting for nothing. I'm not voting for Kamala. I'm not voting for Trump. Okay? Kamala's not doing nothing for me in my community. Trump is not doing anything for me in my community. I'm doing something for me in my community, right? So voting, right, must come with an ask, right? That's why they have all these lobbyists, right, that lobby, different candidates, and they pay them, but they also have an ask, right? They say, okay, well, we're going to give you $10 million. We want better education. We're going to give you $100 million. We want better jobs, and we want better 401ks, or we want better retirement plans. We want better food. We want, more money. We want better housing. Like, it has to come with an ask. Lower, weapons of, mass destruction, all of this stuff, right? Black people are just voting for the sake of voting. What did Kamala say she's going to do for you? Just like Obama. Obama didn't say not one thing he was going to do for us. But for the LGBTQ, they went to him with some money and said, we need you to pass some laws. And those laws got passed, right? So it has to come, right? Because you're buying the president. You're buying these senators, right? That's why they raise so much money. But the people that's donating the money is coming with an ask. Mark Cuban donated $60 million to Kamala. And I'm sure he came with an ask. And it wasn't an ask for anything for black people. Right? So yeah, we raising the money, we coming together, 40,000 women, 40,000 men coming together, raising $2-3 million. But what? So when we raised this money, what was the ask? Did we ask for better schooling for our boys and girls? Did we ask that she make sure she pass a law that our children stop getting on ADHD medication and stop getting thrown, in special ed, right? Because they're a black boy or a black girl. Did they ask to say, all the falsely accused women and men that's in jail, can you pass a law? What was the ask? Just give her money because she's a quote unquote black woman? She's really not. Right? She's Asian and all this other shit, and she married a white man. So in her eyes, she's white, but she's trying to act like she's black to get the black vote. Now, granted, she's a woman. Maybe America needs a woman for change. But it will empower girls. It will empower women. It will inspire girls and women to be like, I could be the president of the United States. I could be the president of a company. I could be a president. It's going to give women power and give them empowerment. And Kamala, her net worth went up immediately soon as she became the nominee. Right? But we have to stop just giving the money with no substance. Oh, just give her the money and that's it. What is your ask? What do you want her to do for your community? What do you need her to do for your community? You gave her $3 billion. You gave her $5 million. Your organization raised $10 million. But what did you ask her to do? What laws did you ask her to pass? Mass incarceration, miseducation. Access to capital, access to loans, access to wealth is a problem for black people in America. It doesn't matter what fucking president is in. If our children are still miseducated, we don't have access to capital, we don't have access to wealth, and they keep locking our men up and keep putting our kids in foster care, I don't give a fuck who in. I'm not voting for a motherfucker. So we gotta really understand how voting works. We're literally buying presidents. We're buying the mayor. We're buying these people. People say vote, 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 vote. What the fuck you voting for? A person? No. We need things to change. Right? We need things in place. So black people, let's just stop voting for the sake of voting. I'm independent. So I vote independent. When I go to the ballot, I put my name and check my name. Because I'm doing more for my community than Kamala and Trump together. I'm doing more for my community than Obama, Trump, and Kamala together. The problem is miseducation. We don't understand the checks and balances. We don't understand the judicial system. We don't understand the executive branch and the other one. I forgot the other one. Whatever that one is, right? We don't understand it for real, for real. And then all the TV keeps saying is vote, 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 vote. The kids need to understand voting. The kids need to understand why am I voting? How do I really vote to make things change? You give money and you have an ask. You give money and you have a demand. You give money and you have a command. Not just here you go. Here go 100 million. She raised 100 million. I'm sure Mark Cuban gave her that 60 million and said, here's my ask. Here's the law that I want you to pass. So we gotta stop voting for the sake of voting. Like my grandmother, she was like, oh, you for women empowerment. Why don't you tell your people to vote for Kamala? For what? What's she doing for me? I didn't hear shit she said in her initial speech that she gonna do for black women. I didn't hear nothing. What she said she gonna do for us. Y'all heard something? Because I ain't hear shit. I ain't hear her say nothing about, oh, I'm gonna help black women do this. I'm gonna help black women get housing. I'm gonna help black women get better jobs and better pay and higher raises and all that. I ain't hear none of that. Y'all heard that? So, fuck I'm voting for her for. What I'm advocating for. I'm not voting for Trump. I'm not voting for Kamala. I'm voting for me. So we got to understand voting, guys, and just stop voting with no substance.